Viewer discretion is advised.
In the NFL, you're not allowed to be so obvious about it. In 2011, Peyton Manning's head fell off, and the Colts had no chance of putting a competitive team out there. Or did they? They went 2-14, picked number 1 overall, and got their guy in Andrew Luck. The next 3 years, they won 11 games each year. I wonder who they're tanking for now, though.
Indianapolis Colts, Jim Irsay. Jim Irsay was 12 when his dad, businessman Robert Irsay, bought the Colts in 1972. After Robert snuck the Colts out of Baltimore like an unhappy wife running off with the gardener in the middle of the night, Jim took over in 1997 when his dad passed away. And since then, Jim has led a coke-fueled rage against the NFL Rules Committee, especially when things go against his team.
You know why kicking field goals sucks? Because they aren't touchdowns. And field goals are what doomed the Colts in an early season game versus the Buffalo Dildos in 1997. After leading 14-0, the Colts kicked 4 consecutive field goals and led 26-0 and thought they had it wrapped up. Only the Bills had other plans, and their running game stepped up. Jim Harbaugh got injured, and with 5:21 left, the Bills led 37-29, eventually winning 37-35. Remember Suck for Luck? Well, the Colts really bought into that mission, as in 2011 they sucked harder and better than they ever have before in getting blown out by 55 points. The Saints, who would win a Super Bowl at the end of the season, surgically dismantled the Colts with 2 rushing TDs and 5 passing TDs, all from Golden Boy Drew Brees. I hope the Saints at least left $100 on the Colts dresser after this affair. Hiring Ryan Grigson as the Colts GM, a man who Urinating Tree referred to as the embodiment of the Dunning-Kruger effect, had lasting bad effects on a team that was heading upwards when he was brought in. Everything was coming up Millhouse as the inexperienced Grigson and the Colts made the AFC Championship game. Then it all got greasier than his hair as the air ran out of the Colts faster than, well, you know. After a disastrous trade for Trent Richardson, another immense backfire, the fans grew uneasy. Grigson was fired after an 8-8 season in 2016 and now works for the Seahawks in exchange for hair gel. After the Colts left in 1983, Memorial Stadium was baseball only until the Ravens arrived in 1996 and played 1 year in the aging venue. Memorial also hosted CFL games in the 90s. When the Ravens left for M&T, the stadium was demolished and is now the site of an assisted living facility, with the former field outlined as a park. Built as a lure to snag an NFL team, it definitely worked, as the stadium never sat empty. Home of the Colts for 23 years, the arena featured a roof similar to that of the Metrodome. When it was slated for destruction, they simply deflated the roof and blew the place up, and it is now the Indiana Convention Center across the street from Lucas Oil Arena. One of the biggest criteria for hosting the Super Bowl is hotel availability. So in preparation for the game, JW Marriott went ahead and built an entire luxury hotel across the street. The stadium itself is beautiful, and its warehouse-style engineering and large glass panels let in a ton of natural light. Combine that with a retractable roof and rotating glass tables in the owner's suite, and you have a winner. I will die on the hill of I absolutely love the architecture of this stadium, making it look like an old factory complete with a brick exterior and combined with a retractable roof. Lucas Oil is just gorgeous. Along with its close proximity to the downtown area, the stadium is hardly anything to snort at.
You killed him! You fucking killed him! You took the most surefire quarterback prospect this league has seen since Peyton Manning and turned him into RG3. Have you people any sense of decency? Look at his posture, his mannerisms, his way of speaking. You've absolutely destroyed this man. You rattled him so much you've turned him into a vegetable. I want to save this man from the organization. We need to kidnap Luck, put him on a Mayflower truck, and transport him overnight to Baltimore. Should be a fair trade-off for the Ursays fucking the city over all those years ago.
I thought this was supposed to be a happy story.
A team that had everything go right for them over the past year, leading them back to their full potential. I should be endlessly praising Chris Ballard for staring in the face of an awful situation and rebuilding it near perfectly. It was as if the 2017 season hadn't happened. A true bounce-back year. Going from 1-5 to storming back to a postseason berth by winning 9 of 10. Andrew Luck returning to form, outright embarrassing the Texans on their own soil. Despite the loss to Kansas City in the divisional round, things were looking up again. But none of that matters now. You finally finished the job. You killed him. You fuckers straight up murdered one of the most talented QBs of this generation. How else would someone's love of the game be slowly chipped away over time? The years of needless injuries, rehabilitation, running for his life under one of the worst offensive lines in football. It made him wither into a dried vegetable. This is one of the saddest moments I have ever witnessed as a sports fan. It's easily the most shocking retirement since Barry Sanders. Apparently he had been debating this for weeks, and I can understand why. Look at all of the injuries he's dealt with since joining the Colts. Torn cartilage, a torn abdomen, a lacerated kidney, a concussion, a completely mangled shoulder injury, and whatever this past injury was. I feel for Andrew Luck. Tell me that you'd have the same passion after being left to die as often as he was. Please explain how dealing with all of this shit makes you soft, because I'm having a hard time seeing it as credible. Watch his final press conference. Just look at him. This is a broken human being. This is a man that has had his vigor stripped away from him over the span of years. No, he isn't RG3. That man wasn't destroyed enough to forfeit tens of millions of dollars to walk away from it all. This is a man who outright hated his job enough to where he just put in his 2 weeks and left. I've been there countless times, you probably have too. Not to the point of physical pain, but mentally, we've all been there. That's why I don't blame him for abandoning this organization. And what may be his final memory of the Colts? It wasn't joyous. They booed him. They booed the years he's had to carry the pathetic leeches and management irrelevance right off the damn field. Look, I get Colts fans' frustrations. You have a right to it, but you're booing the wrong man. Do you want to know who you should really be booing? This man and this man. These two men are responsible for the murder of Andrew Luck's career, and if there's any justice in this world, they shouldn't have a place in the NFL. Nobody buys tickets to see Grigson trade a first-round pick for Trent Richardson. Nobody buys tickets to see Jim Irsay get arrested for being high off pills or alcohol. People paid to see Andrew Luck, and now he's gone. As a result of this heinous atrocity, I consider Grigson to be the worst GM in NFL history. A man who not only refused to acknowledge but openly neglected the pressing needs of protecting his star quarterback is one of the most damning statements I've ever seen. A man who pissed away draft capital and useless skill positions, incredible reaches, and unnecessary parts only to believe he knew what was best for the team. They wasted so many years with this man, yet his long-term impact will be felt for many more to come. The fact that this man is still holding an executive position at the professional level disturbs me greatly. Grigson should be selling cars at a random Ford dealership in New Jersey. That's how awful his tenure was to me. Yet if you were to ask him, he would probably feel like he did nothing wrong regarding Luck. No, Ryan, you never finished below 500 in spite of your actions, not because of them. But that's not the main culprit here. Irsay was the primary reason why Luck was destroyed. Why, you ask? He was the man that hired Grigson. He sat idly by as his star talent died slowly and did nothing to stop it until it was far too late. I know you're expecting me to yell and scream and cause a ruckus, but Irsay isn't worth that. He is nothing to me. He took a golden situation and completely pissed all over it from the span of multiple generational talents at quarterback. Jim, your inactivity and active ignorance in stopping the malignant issues affecting your team is an indictment in itself. If you still partake in your notorious cocaine habit, I hope the next line you do is of the remnants of this organization's dignity. You want to be tied with the Colts and their success, but in reality you will be reminiscent with failure. A man who wasted talent after talent to a level that puts Green Bay to shame. So I'm supposed to feel good that you did the bare minimum for Luck in the end? What about the time you called his issues all mental when his career was in jeopardy? It's too late for goodwill. You learned absolutely nothing from Manning's issues and won't learn a damn thing from this either. It doesn't matter how well Chris Ballard is doing. It doesn't matter how Frank Reich had a good season as coach. Nothing matters anymore. The Colts deserve absolutely no success until Irsay is gone. We all know nothing will be done though. Irsay will pretend nothing happened and get another franchise-caliber quarterback to ruin in the future as Indy returns to relevance. The most damning statements are the ones that aren't made. And for this, the NFL is complicit in this death by their inaction and will be judged accordingly. As for you, Andrew, I know you're probably never going to hear this. There's only one thing I want you to do. Enjoy retirement. You just got married, you've got a kid on the way, you've made enough money to never play a down of football again, and you don't need to prove anything to anyone. Yes, the NFL will be worse for you being gone, but I understand your decision. Some things are just more important than sport, and that's what Luck has decided for him and his family. I raise a glass to you and wish you nothing but success in the future. Farewell, Andrew Luck.